let us understand what it means to charge a neutral body by induction. So we have seen what it means to charge by friction and by conduction. So when we say we are going to charge a neutral body by induction, we essentially imply that there is going to be no contact between the incoming object and the neutral object. The incoming object is usually charged and the neutral object is naturally neutral. So there is going to be no contact over here, no physical contact, all right? So here we have a negatively charged rod and this is brought near an uncharged body. So this uncharged body will get polarized, or effectively the negatively charged electrons will be repelled away from the incoming rod, and hence the portion of the uncharged body that is away from the incoming negatively charged rod is going to be effectively negatively charged, leaving behind gaps or lack of electrons, which effectively is reflected as the positive charge of the nucleus for the remaining nuclei on the charge of the body that is closer to the incoming rod. Now this is the charge configuration in the uncharged neutral body when a negatively charged rod approaches it. Now how do we maintain the charge on this neutral body? Because even if the charge distribution has shifted, this body is still neutral. We can see that the effective positive charge and the effective negative charge cancel out, and hence the body is effectively still neutral. So how do we manage to charge the body? So this is how it happens. Now this is the case that we saw. This is the configuration in which the body is. What we do is, the right hand side of the body as shown in this diagram, we ground it. By grounding, we mean that we simply connect it to earth via a connector that is perfectly conducting, and hence all the electrons drain out to the earth. Now one would ask that, okay, if all the electrons are draining out to the earth, then what about these positively charged particles? Remember that they are protons and they cannot move. So if we want to neutralize them, we can only neutralize them by pouring in electrons over here. Note that this body is not in contact with the neutral body, and hence the electrons from this body, because of the air gap present, cannot actually shift from this body onto the positive charges over here. Now one thing we need to realize and grasp is that once the electrons have flown to the earth, the protons that are effectively present over here cannot move. They are bound to the nucleus, and the nucleus of the atom is not moving. So these protons also cannot go to earth. That is important to note, and hence we are effectively left with the protons over here. All right. And then in the final step, what we do is, this incoming body, we just remove this incoming body. So now in the third step, there is no incoming rod over here that is holding the effective positive charge on the object to be charged, and hence we get this effective positive charge redistributing itself over the entire surface of the body. Now one would ask, the protons cannot move, then how is it that the charge redistributes? Okay, that is simple enough to understand. Once this particular body is removed, the electrons from the other region, okay, they diffuse into the protons, leaving behind their own positive charge, so that the net effective body is uniformly positively charged. Here also it is positively charged, but it is not uniformly positively charged, because the electrons that were present are getting repelled by this particular rod, and hence these particular electrons are not being able to diffuse into the positive charges, and hence the effective positive charge of this particular body is not uniformly distributed, and the only the excess electrons move to the earth, not these particular electrons that are not in excess. All electrons don't move to earth, only the excess electrons move to earth. The reason why they move to earth is because the potential of this point has to match the potential of earth, which is taken to be 0, because earth is a very big source of positive and negative charges, and hence the potential of the earth is taken as 0. So in order to match the potential of this point with the potential of earth, that is the reason because of which the excess electrons are moving to the earth. So this is the method of charging a given particular body by the method of induction. So in induction, we essentially do not have contact between the incoming body that is going to charge the neutral body. There is no contact over here. Okay. So that is the difference between friction conduction, where there is contact, and induction, wherein there is no contact.